everywhere outdoor products are sold. Of course, you also catch the weekly TV show Moultrie's Hit List on the Outdoor Channel. And we'll talk about that some today, too. Go to rickandbubba.com, look under show notes. Mr. Helmsy is putting up a Moultrie giveaway, and you can go there and take part in that. You can win a cool prize or two from Moultrie. We'll also give away something here on the program today, but you want to participate in all that. And welcome back to the program, Dan Moultrie. Dan, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Rick. Great. How about you? The main deal. I had surgery this weekend.
You know what?
You're looking strong this morning.
The old gray mare ain't what she used to be. No, it's I'm working my way back and excited that you're here. I want to thank your wife Patty for making some white chicken chili
With that cornbread.
Cornbread and a waffle iron.
Yeah.
Cornbread and a waffle iron.
Awesome. You can't beat it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's very
Bubba almost didn't get any because he thought they were sweet
I thought it was
waffles
regular
instead of
waffles.
Oh no, those are waffle. That's cornbread waffle shaped.
good.
Patty, you're going
when,
good.
when you pour that chili in the little holes on the waffle, it sort of holds it pretty
Yeah,
good.
it does. Good night.
Hey, going down the road yesterday, I get to listen to y'all, which I almost never do, and y'all were on the Lou Holtz deal. Did y'all ever figure out what he was saying?
Thanks for bringing that up.
Don't get us started on that.
Can I throw in my input on
Yes,
that? I
yeah.
think I got it.
All right.
And I think he got caught in mid-sentence and just stopped what he said. But I think he's saying head coach when he instead of head I think when he went to say coach, he went and stopped. I think he was saying head coach.
Okay. That's
Instead of egg comb?
Yeah,
I thought it
I
was
think
egg
it's
cone.
head coach.
I looked
So-
all over the internet for a good egg comb
and
yesterday because I realized I didn't have one.
I just think that he was saying that he'll say, we'll get back to you, and Lou was going to say something like, oh, you can get to the head coach or something like that.
Right.
That's
Well, we wasn't the only ones.
Thanks for bringing that up.
I just
Yeah.
y'all
Mystery.
needed a little.
There was probably
jump out.
150 shows yesterday trying to figure that one out.
Right. Yes. So anyway, also we're glad to have Pradco. As far as sponsoring you being on the program, and of course that's, gosh, we got Moultrie feeders and Code Blue and Summit tree stands and Night and Hell and Wingscapes, and then all the great baits of Rebel and Booyah and Lindy and Bomber for the saltwater and the Yum. And all of these products come together to bring you, Dan, here on the program. They give us cool stuff to give away. We'll give away some more of that today. But, Dan, all across the country, it varies so wildly. There's so much going on in the outdoors right now. This is a happening time of year.
It is it.
But a lot of states have already started, and our home state started this week, bow hunting. And of course, bow hunting requires you to bring the animal in a lot closer.
You mean primitive weaponry?
Yeah, and what are some do's and don'ts?
The old main three rules.
Yeah,
Hunt with the wind, hunt with the wind, hunt with the wind.
You gotta-
especially
you
your
gotta have
bow hunting.
yeah.
And there's a lot of good scent control products out
Yeah.
there right now, but you're never, ever, ever gonna fool that animal's nose if you don't have the wind right.
So the wind's
What
got to
if
be
we
right.
get a, what if you hunting a dumb one, Dan? Is that possible?
Well, when we went out to Texas, because those animals had never been fooled with, they would come in from downwind, but they were mainly checking the bucks a lot of times to see if a different buck or a different doe was there. But they didn't snort and act like the way that most of the deer in the rest of the United States do.
Yeah, and our state's one of the tough. All the outdoor people will tell you if you kill an Alabama mature whitetail buck, you've really done something.
Yeah, they're tough. They're
Real tough.
extremely tough.
But you were talking about that, how important the wind was. I've noticed that sight is really not that big a deal. Just the other day, we were, of course, checking our Moultrie cameras down at our little plot in the world, and my sons and I were putting out, some supplemental feeding and checking our food plots, see how they were doing, and there was a spike, a young buck from here to the end of the studio, and Brody in the elbows, he says, "Dad," and he's just standing there looking at us, but the wind is in our favor.
Yeah.
He sees us.
Yeah.
And he don't even move because he can't figure out, was this bad? Is this good?
That's right.
Does it matter? And because he didn't smell us. And he literally stood there just hundreds of feet from us, just kind of figure out what are y'all doing? And even started eating while we were standing there. This is out in the wild. And eventually, when I started getting the bag out and making some noise, he said, kind of eased on off. But he did not spook and go.
Well, you got those different animals that live by most of them live by their nose, but a few live by their eyes and hearing, like turkeys. and where there's no sin involved. But
Dan,
But I noticed sight is not that big a deal, especially if they can't really make out what's going on.
Yeah, they're going to check it out, and they may be curious. They're all
I
curious.
know you studied this over the years, but far as scent and the wind moving, even if it appears there's not any moving, sometimes it is anyway. But does that just on the ground? Is there a level you get above that, or how does that work?
People think that you start it generally, and nothing's 100%, but generally in the morning, the thermals are going up because heat's rising.
Mm-hmm.
So if you imagine your body's hotter than it is outside, your thermals are going to be going up. About 9 o'clock, if you're sitting there monitoring, and we've got a cool product in Code Blue that's smoke in the bottle, the wind checker that's dust that you just pump it and then it shows, and you'll see it going up. And then about 9 o'clock, you got a bunch of those out of the warehouse.
Yeah,
Speedy, okay.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, Speedy got all of those. I still have to lick my finger.
We were a little low on inventory, but and then about 9 o'clock you puff it and you'll see it start down, and then about 10 you'll see it start swirling and the wind starts swirling, and then till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is almost anywhere you are, the hours of hunting. In the afternoon, it's exactly opposite of that. And then you'll see it start changing and it's swirling, and then it calms down right before dark, and that's when it really gets good for the hunter, because if not, you're going to get busted every time.
And I know a lot of times if you got the budget, it's usually good to try to set up where you can easily get in different directions on food plots so that you're not held to that one location.
Multiple stands.
Yeah, multiple stands, so you can figure out what the wind's doing.
Dan, what about cover scents? What about trying to throw them off? You can't do away with your scent.
It helps.
Could help.
Something stronger than your smell.
There's a lot of people and I know we've got a lot of stuff out there, but I have never been a big, sorry, Kevin, I've never been a big advocate of it, but that's just my style of hunting.
It's all wind about you.
There's other times where it could help.
What about smoke? I've heard people that want to stay away from a campfire, and I know some people want to stand in it. What do you do?
I think it depends on the animals you're hunting. Where you're hunting. In Texas, they'd walk up to the fire.
Look at it.
You're not going to have that happen.
Yeah, we'll be back. Bottom of the hour. Andy Morgan from Moultrie's Hit List joins us next. Stay close.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
And we are back 35 minutes now past the hour. The Rick and Bubba Show. Don't forget, too, out and about. Coming up this time of year, there's a lot of products you got to have. And, boy, I tell you, we try to cover them here on the program. How about Moultrie's Hit List exclusively on the Outdoor Channel? One of the main cast members, Andy Morgan, the pride of Dayton, Tennessee, joins us now. Andy, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Man, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Well, I mean, if you're not fired up, let's just hang up and start over.
It's that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, here we go.
It's that time of year. Yes, it is. Up early.
Andy is the man, guy. I'm going to tell you, we've had a lot of great guys on in the outdoor sector. Andy is the man.
Well, Andy, it was funny because it's always interesting when you see what people do for a living, and I was looking over all your information today prior to the show starting, and you're known for fishing, no doubt about that, and you're good at it. You've been successful with it. But when I read that your passion is hunting and fishing is what you do for a living, I was taken back by that.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. A lot of people say what?
Yeah.
Are you for real? Oh, yeah. Hunting's something that I've always just absolutely loved to do, and I guess it's kind of neck down to hunting seasons. You don't have but 90 or 100 days to get that done, and I hate to miss one day of it.
So you want to be out there now? Are you what type of hunting it consumes you the most?
It's probably the white-tailed deer. I've always been a big waterfowler for years, but about the last 10 years, I've really got consumed with white-tailed deer.
Yeah, but when that fever gets a hold of you.
Oh, it's good. And Andy, everybody thinks that the hunting is cool, and it is to be able to do it, but to maintain the physical schedule of 52 weeks a year for having a show. And, I mean, anybody knows it, Rick and Bubba and this whole crew knows it, of getting that show ready and out. And then, I mean, that's difficult. But one of the neatest deals to me is having all the different products to use. What do you think? What's your opinion on it?
Well, there's no doubt about it. You've got to keep up with what's going on. The innovation that's came about through game cameras, tree stands, whatever. you have here, you've got to keep up with the times and keep up with the stuff that you can use out there to get the job done. Our show's based around Moultrie's. Moultrie's the hit list. It's based around game cameras.
Right.
And you talk about technology. There's a lot of stuff to keep up with, but there's a lot of neat tools out there that are well worth keeping up with to make that trip to success a little shorter.
Yeah, I've noticed using the Moultrie cameras too. You've got also to be able to access them enough so you can develop a pattern. If you get the cameras, but yet you're not checking on them very often, you're not really getting information that's really going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's kind of a fine line. I call it kind of splitting hairs or something. You don't want to go in there and check them every day.
Right.
Of course. You kind of want to get in, every 3, 4, 5 days, and it kind of depends on what time of year you're looking at. Summertime, I'll go in there and check my cameras every maybe week, 10 days.
Right.
Toward hunting season where you're really trying to get on that pattern and catch that big buck coming through to a food plot, you're going to check them a little more often because you don't want to miss that little window that he's available to for the taking.
It's funny too. I guess we all do this. Do you find yourself looking through your pictures going, let me see him in daylight. Let me please see him in the daylight. Please. Let me see him. Not a 1 a.m. picture. Let me have one in the daylight.
Oh, it's anticipation, and that's what builds hunting. It's almost daily. I've got a camera or two that I need to go look at around home, or I've got buddies in other states that run our cameras.
Yep.
Our hit list show, we don't deal with a lot of outfitters. We deal with a lot of our own leases, our own ground, so it's our own recon. We might have a buddy. We might call up Dan and go, Dan, run down to the farm if you don't care today at some point, and pull a couple of those cameras, and, then you're sitting there anticipating the phone picture that he sends of that buck in there at 30 minutes before dark or 8 a.m. in the morning. Like, uh-oh, better plan a trip.
Mm-hmm. Right. Andy, to give them an idea, how many states have you been in already this year bow hunting?
I've been in 6 states already this year.
Already.
Already. Came back from Mississippi last night. Just got in about dark last night. Well, actually, I got in about an hour before dark and put my little 12-year-old girl in a tree stand right here behind my house in the bean field.
Wow.
So it never slows down, guys. It never slows down.
Well, bless your heart. I hope you can persevere through it.
Yeah.
I'm going to. I will prevail.
I guess if you have that job, you never retire, do you?
Until that doggone fishing starts again, Rick.
That old fishing getting in the way. Yeah. Now I got to give up this hunting. I guess I'll start fishing now.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, when you're fishing and
y'all remember Andy on your prayer list today?
Pencil him in.
They asked Swindlin, of course, Swindle was hot dog and booyah of all our baits. Which one you like the best? You're the professional. What's the best bait out there? What's the one to use? Rick is paying big time attention.
My favorite bait of all time is a jig. But a booyah spinner bait's a pretty tough little bait too. That's always a fun bite, and that usually puts some pretty good fish in the boat.
Yeah,
I like the spinner bait because they're fun. I like the pull on them. I like the way they feel.
Yeah,
I do too.
Do you find, Andy, though? I mean, again, the big water varies and different types of water and all that. Can you? Is there a time when it seems to me, just from and I don't get to do it as much as you do. I hope to get to one day. That the cooler the temperatures, the better the spinner baits work, and the hotter it gets, the plastics have to come into play.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. In that cooler water, you're going to catch more fish on a spinnerbait, crankbait type stuff, it seems like. And you catch better quality. This year at Lake Murray, during our championship, which was in August, and it was blazing hot in South Carolina in August.
Oh, yeah.
I caught them pretty decent on the spinnerbait.
Really?
We had a couple of cool mornings. Yeah, I did. I had a couple of pretty decent days of practice over there where it was cool in the mornings, kind of misty, rainy. And they bit that spinnerbait really well. The thing about a spinnerbait is it's very conditional. If you've got the overcast, you've got some wind, you've got some type of weather front coming through, it seems like that spinnerbait really shines.
Yeah, and like Bubba was talking about, it's a fun type of fishing.
Yeah.
That's because it's got a lot of action.
Being able to see that too on top of it and sort of half buzzing those blades.
Yeah.
But again, I've always heard, Andy, and I don't know if it's right or not, but from fishermen, if the wind's blowing and it's overcast, not sunny, that's your spinnerbait day.
That's exactly right. That's right. You need some kind of conditions. And I've caught them on an old bluebird high pressure day before, but that's kind of been in the fall,
maybe
early spring when the sunlight's, starting to really generate that bite to kind of warm those fish up. Since they're cold-blooded, they get a little antsy, when they start to warm up. But it's been mostly conditional. You got some heavy wind, maybe some runoff just from the rain maybe the night before, some type of condition it'll keep those fish in on a spinnerbait, and they'll eat that old blade up. And there's no better day than when you catch them on a spinner.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to be in that time right now because you got a cold front just moved through, and there's that last little hit of the fall where you can get out there and get them pretty active.
Oh, I think about it. A place we just hunted in Mississippi, they had 3 or 4 big lakes on there. I thought about it every day while I was sitting in my tree stand. I said, boy, I bet I can take an old spinnerbait then and run it down that log, catch me one this morning.
Yeah. Well, look, I try to get Moultrie to live on the edge with the plastics a little bit, but, I mean, you can't get a purple worm out of his hand for anything.
That's hard to beat, boys. That's hard to beat.
I know. I mean, I said, Dan, look at all this stuff we got in the tackle box, and he's back over with that purple worm again.
Old trusty. That's old trusty.
Old trusty.
That was it. He and my dad had the same advice. Use any worm you want to as long as it's purple.
As long as the color's purple. That's what my dad always said.
I'm like, look at all these other colors I got. Well,
Andy, when are you going to loosen air? I mean, it's time. We want to see some footage. We want to send it in. Speedy, you can put it up on the board here. Helms, and
man.
We want to see some footage of you loosening air.
Come on.
I'm telling you what, boys, it has been tough this year.
Where are you going next?
Arrow this year has been tough. And here's the deal, too, and Dan, you'll really relate to a lot of this. We have so much food in the Southeast, even into the Midwest, into Illinois. The mass crop's incredible. There's more white oak acorns on the ground right now out my back door here than I've ever seen in my life. Well, when that happens, you guys know the bed to the feed area really shortens. It's kind of in the same spot, and it is hard to get on a mature buck right now.
You try to fight them acorns.
Oh, it's tough.
There's no worse. And we've got beautiful food plots and bean fields and corn fields. Not touching them.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from getting 300 or 400 pictures every 3-4 days to getting 20 and 30.
Big difference. Andy, let me ask you this: when you're bow hunting too, do you like the lighted nocks and some of those high tech things I call that have come along here in the last few years?
Absolutely, I really do. I mean, it's going to tell you a lot about your shot, and especially that waiting after the shot. The waiting period is the most important. If you've made a good hit, the deer's not going very far. If you made a marginal hit, it's just a matter of a waiting game. And that lighted knock's going to show you where your arrow went. I think it's great for game recovery. I think your percentage goes up on your game recovery tremendously. So a lighted knock, that's good stuff, man. I like to see where that arrow's going. I just think it looks neat.
Too, but I know mine. I do too. And I know mine when I'm practicing in the yard always works, but sometimes from the tree it doesn't work. I've noticed.
Right.
What's the deal with that?
All that started too, and Andy, I don't know if you remember it, there was an actual string that was attached to your arrow that you shot, and it spooled out as the animal ran off. It spooled off like a spool of sewing thread off your bow, and you'd go follow the string to that. That was the early days of recovery stuff. Yeah, you remember that?
That's exactly right. Yeah. I do remember that. Absolutely.
I'm sure we'll have them with GPS before long. You just look at your iPhone.
You're
see
probably
where it's
right.
sitting at.
You're probably right. Well, Andy, thanks. Thanks for spending some time with us. Enjoy watching you on the hit list.
There's your idea, Dan.
That's a good idea.
Know that we continue to support you, and just hope you can persevere through hunting season so you can get to fishing. And I know how hard that can be. And of course, best to your family, and look forward to watching you again this week on the Outdoor Channel on Moultrie's Hit List. Andy Morgan, we'll be right back. A chance for you to win right after this.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
As we come back, well, here it is, the old panoramic 150. I'm using these down on the farm. Bubba, I know you've got some too. I love these.
Love the panoramic. Get the whole, Rick, what I say, get the whole picture.
Get the whole picture. Old panoramic 150.
And you can use that line if you want to.
That's a good line.
You get the whole picture.
I'm writing that down as we go.
How many times you looked off to the far right and far left? Go, wait a minute, I see a little something.
Rick, I don't know how many times I've had a hoof or a tail in a shot, and I went, golly, what was there? Or something else.
Yep.
And you go, what the heck is that right there?
Yeah, I have some great pictures. As a matter of fact, fact of Gary putting out big footprints.
Yeah.
These are the security ones too.
Yeah, these are good too. Yeah.
Dan, I am so glad he didn't get in your place down there before you've had some of your get-togethers.
I hate to admit, I saw Gary late yesterday afternoon. And he was walking away, and I sort of let it get. I didn't want to get in that long conversation. I would have heard about everything Rick had going on.
Well, my favorite thing is to call him and tell him people just ripping on and off property down there.
Oh yeah, I talked to him yesterday.
Hi, he said, "Well, we'll go in there and find out."
I tell you, he's got the radar of a U.S. Navy ship. I don't know of anybody that can keep up with as much as he does.
I've never seen anything like it. All right, here's our
I
question.
can think about driving by, and he'll go, "Hey, you coming down today?"
That's right.
What? How'd you know I was thinking that?
We've got a question today involving bow hunting. Now, you heard us talking with Andy, and you heard everybody kind of chiming in on Moultrie's hit list. Well, if you want to bow hunt this time of year, if there's a lot of acorns on the ground, you want to be in a hot acorn tree. Mm-hmm. You want to be sitting up in a tree that's dropping acorns and see if you can get him coming in. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not the only hot tree that's good to sit in.
That's right.
What's the other one?
There's another hot one, and it's all over. That's very good.
And we had these when I was growing up. There was a line of them through our backyard, and I mean, it's
prime time.
Yeah, they love these. Would you say they love these as much as acorns?
And it's right there with it.
Right there.
And
so if you can't get an acorn tree, get in this one.
And just like acorn tree, there's some acorn trees that aren't as hot as deer prefer a certain tree. There are trees that are better trees than other trees, and that's what you look for. And the same applies to this. But this is prime time. You don't have this, or you want a different, and there's too many acorns. This is great in between. Early muscadines, early in September when they fall, that's a good one to be on. But this tree is a dandy to be.
So
on.
We're looking for if you can't find if there's acorns everywhere, try this tree.
That's right.
If there's one around, and
acorns everywhere.
Yeah. So this is for the Panoramic 150. We'll start.
Dan, that is a great count. I really, really do.
And Rick, we'll do 150.
I wouldn't tell you if I didn't.
Yeah.
Let's go to.
You know what that means?
Let's go to
150 eyes infrared too, Rick. We're giving that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Chris in Jackson,
Speedy's
Mississippi.
had about 12 of them. He knows.
Yeah. Chris, go right ahead, buddy. What other hot tree are we talking about?
Oh, I don't know. All I heard was white acorns a while ago.
Boy, there you go.
That's a way to hang.
Can you
fumble
say
it.
roll tide?
That's-
I didn't say that.
That's a way to drop it on the ground.
It's a process, Rick. It's a process.
Birmingham, Alabama. Josh, what do you think?
Persimmon?
There it is.
There you go.
That was quick.
The old persimmon. And as a kid, we used to try to bite into those things. They were so bitter.
Oh, yeah.
You know what we did? We sharpened sticks and put them on it and then flipped them at each other.
Oh,
Did you
when
ever
they
do
get
that?
mushy. When they get
Oh,
mushy.
that's big.
No, when they were hard. You
we used to do it
hard,
when they
so
were
they'd
mushy.
raise boy, it hurt.
Josh,
It
congratulations.
was kind of like playing lacrosse, Rick. Almost.
Sort of.
Flip it.
Sort of. Yeah, you're right.
You want me to give you a little known persimmon fact too?
All right, here. Now listen to this, Josh. Here's a little known persimmon fact.
You cut the seed open out of the persimmon, and it'll either have the shape of a knife, a fork, or a spoon inside of it.
Now,
I'm telling you, if y'all just need to do it, look.
On Summerfield.
Dan.
I've never heard that one.
Cut one open.
okay. All right,
Split
Josh.
the seed open.
The Panoramic 150i game camera from Moultrie now belongs to you, brother, and we'll get all your information, and Moultrie will ship that out to you, or Speedy will drop it by after he leaves the warehouse today.
Yeah,
do it,
either
Josh.
one's works.
Just depends where you live.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for listening to
Thanks, guys.
1047 WZZK. So there it is.
There's a real
Can I
hunter
say
right there.
that I know firsthand this works, because when I went with some folks to hunt, they said, hey, we're going to be hunting in some persimmon trees, and it was just persimmon trees everywhere. And I want to tell you, the second we got up, we saw deer the whole day.
Yep.
When they're
The whole
falling,
day.
it's
They,
prime
they
time.
like it.
Can
I
take-
was amazed. I mean, I'm talking about they were walking all around.
We were going and checking, and Rick, John told me to come get. I don't have a hybrid cart yet, and I was asking him how.
You talking about Summerall?
Yes, and I was asking him how they were, if they were pretty good. And he said, "Go get Rick's for a while." So for about 3 or 4 months now, would that be all right?
Well,
Come get yours.
no, I don't know about that.
I'll bring my other one to you and let you use mine.
We can do some sort of maybe swap for a day or two. But
Are you liking the hybrid or not?
I do, and the thing I like about the Hunt V, and they make those out of Mississippi. I like how they're up off the ground a little bit, and you got the option to go.
But are you switching it? You leave yours on gas all the time, don't you?
No, it's
I'll
not.
switch.
Do you really?
if I want a little quieter.
I can't imagine you switching to a
Is your
Honey.
Humvee both ways? It's
Yeah,
hybrid.
yeah. I mean, if I want it to be quiet, you know,
You
if
got
I,
a new one then.
I'm
That old one wasn't both ways. was it?
no, I might want it to be electric and be a little quieter, and then if I don't, then I go the other way.
So I
Tell
see what
Gary
you're
we're
saying.
gonna trade those. Tell Gary we're gonna swap. those out.
Okay, I will.
Rick, is yours 4-wheel drive and battery?
Mm-hmm. It is.
I know a lot of them are just 2-wheel gas and 2-wheel battery, or you run them together to have 4-wheel drive. I know that's what the bad boy one is now.
Yeah. This is 4 in electric or in gas, either way.
Really?
And I'll tell you that would have to be really, I mean, come in handy because if you have a long haul, and I mean, use gas.
Yes.
And then when you kind of hunker down, you're getting close. Go ahead and go to battery, and it all quietens up.
Well, I've used battery for
And
years,
scent. And
and
scent.
it's
Yeah.
great, but you got to plan. You got to have a plan when to get back. You got to have adequate time to charge. And as long as you budget your time, you're good. But the gas does give you another component that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the also John's working with Open Season still. I don't know if you've seen. He put together
He's
this
got some cool
extensive
stuff.
online. You go to Open Seasons and you can look and obviously everybody wants to pick the type of situation you want to be in. But if you ever just want to see the vast products and they put a weekly special up and all that, and you're looking for some deals, remember that too. And they've joined together, done a lot for the show, and had a chance to go over there and speak at an event with John. And I know he's worked with you a lot, Dan, and
Good guy.
and helping you out. So Dan, what's the big plan for you as we wrap up? I mean, where do you go now?
Well, the honey, I've been going back and forth and trying to. Patty and I are moving into a different house and trying to get that. And believe it or not, opening weekend of bow season, I'm stuck painting. So, but I'm gonna play catch up ball now. Rick. We're fixing to start playing catch
good.
up ball.
Okay.
Very good, Dan. Good to see you again, buddy.
Good to see y'all.
Be
Thanks.
safe climbing them trees out there.
Yeah,
fellas.
congratulations to Josh, our winner today. Thank you, Andy Morgan from Moultrie's Hit List, for being on. Thank you, Patty Moultrie, for the white chicken chili and the cornbread made in the waffle iron. It's all
pieces.
good. We'll be back. More Rick and Bubba next.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.